Hello everyone, I am Tessellating Hexagons, and it's all over for another year. Yesterday was the grand final of Eurovision 2019, and we have a winner, which I couldn't do on a Rubik's Cube, so I had to improvise. Also, I have a guest.
Hi, Europe's Gallo 8 again. Back with the good times.
She was present for the celebratory party where we were watching the show, and also Elliot was with us, as you will have seen in the reaction video. And results happened, and we reacted to them summarily, and I guess in this video we'll talk through the finalists in the order that they finished, and have a good time, because, let's face it, most people are just here to see what we think of the winner, maybe the top three, and then they're going to click away. We know who you are. We know where you live. So, as I called many weeks ago, as most people have expected, the winner was indeed the Netherlands, Duncan Lawrence, Arcade. How you feeling?
A lot better now it's not Sweden. Hey. But yes, I wasn't overly keen on this song when this was first announced because the fandom were just sort of like hyping this one up to hell and back, and as you know, I do not follow the fan hype around a song. It just kind of puts me off it a bit.
Oh, I absolutely feel like everything that you're saying I went through with this song as well. I hate being told what to think. I once saw a couple of years ago, someone had left a comment on a YouTube video, not one of mine, but left a comment saying, oh, here's my personal top 10. And someone replied saying, no, that's all wrong. This is your opinion now, and gave their top 10. You don't do that! And this is why.
Exactly. I mean, this is a good song. It's a good, heartfelt song, which just proves that Eurovision isn't just a kitsch program,
BBC. Do your bloody homework.
This got people feeling feelings, and I could relate to the feelings. It came across really well. A lot of people say that it was all ruined because it was just him at a piano with the lamp bulb that just whooped.
You know, the cameo from Valentina's IKEA lamp from 2013.
Yeah, but it's just that's what the song needed. Not every song needs fireworks and flashy props and accessories.
Music is not fireworks.
Music is feeling, and that was a very feeling song.
But yeah, I was very skeptical of this song at first because a lot of people did seem to be highly overrating it, and when all was said and done, I agree that it's overrated, but I also agree that it's a worthy winner. And that's not me backpedaling on what I'd said before. That is, I see what people see in it, I just don't feel it myself, but I'd rather have this win than... Well, I don't even need to say it, do I? But my reasoning for that isn't blind hate, because that's an entirely separate discussion. My reasoning is, it's really heartening to see that not just the winner, but the top two this year are songs written from the heart with emotional touches to them, and it shows that regardless of whether it's a ballad or strange post-structuralist R&B or toy, like in the case of last year, a Marpol's Toy 1944, at this point, the Eurovision fandom wants songs that have meaning or personal investment. Look at how well North Macedonia did, we'll come back to them. But songs that have actual sentiment behind them are doing really well now, regardless of whether it's a happy fun time, Toy had a serious message but it was presented in a fun way, or if it's something a bit more downbeat, like the death of a close friend, like with Arcade. And it gives me life that the Eurovision fandom are very much here for these serious songs, as opposed to cynically constructed, following a formula, you will like this because it's what the focus group said kind of pop songs. And again, naming no names, but if you're getting offended, then that just means you know that I'm right. So yeah, we had a song that fits the winner's gallery win, and second place was Italy, and kind of second verse, same as the first. Italy, I gave my 12 points to Italy in the household voting.
Yes. And it just created a moment both in the arena with the audience and, at least for us at home, we all joined in with the Soldi, Soldi.
Except for my father, he looked at us like we were in a cult.
Yes.
But there were 6 of us and 5 of us did the clappy clap.
Well, 4 at first, and then we encouraged Philly G to join the clapping cult.
They're so married. But yeah, I'm so happy for Italy, because now people are finally going to let go of Il Volo. No, I jest, but yeah, Italy deserve a good result. I would have been happy with them winning, but second place is also acceptable.
Yeah, I'd have been happy with them winning personally, but Netherlands is still good.
Yeah. Ben in third, if you want to move on.
Russia again with Sergey.
Like, it's really unexpected that Russia did as well as they did, bearing in mind, like, this had nowhere near the amount of hype that You Are the Only One had in terms of staging, public reception, jury reception, and yet it still came third overall. Well, that's because the numbers this year are so random. Like, if you look at the... I don't mean that as an insult either. Like, if you look at the scoreboard, like, the winner had 492, which makes this the lowest scoring winner since the introduction of the new system, I believe.
I think. I'm not entirely sure.
And then you got second place that's also in the 400s, and then several in the 300s, and then it drops... I'm sort of looking past the camera because we've got it on screen behind us. We've got a couple of 200s, and then, like, it really drops off after the top 10. So there are a lot of points spread evenly between a couple of countries. So there are a couple of really high scorers, which is why you get this kind of unexpected schlimblery in the top end of things.
Yeah.
The question is, did Russia deserve to do that well? I mean, honestly, no strong opinion.
Meh. It's better than You Are the Only One, fight me, but...
Yeah, it was more understated in terms of staging, which, I mean, on one hand, no duh, on the other, really? This does go against what I was saying about the constructed pop, but the thing is, it was more heartfelt than You Are the Only One, or at least it seemed to be, and also, this was, like, hyper-focus tested, as opposed to everything else, which was just emotionally sincere. Then there's, like, Switzerland, which, again, disrupts the pattern, but in a different way, because, like, it's not artificial, but it's also not a true story. It just engages people's dancey bones, which is in their shoulder, apparently.
Yes, indeedy doodle. Switzerland. Wow, this is like their best result in like a hot while.
Like, the last time they did this well was like 1993. Three. So Switzerland did well, pretty much as expected, basically. So
yeah.
Good for them.
Yeah.
Not really much to add.
Good to them.
They did good. It's a shame that Stones didn't do this well, but hey ho.
Norway's next.
Norway won the televote. Yeah. Furries reign supreme. And by that I mean they came fifth. But yes, they beat Sweden and that's all that counts.
Yep. Indeedy doodle.
Kino and singing in the same language and their song Sparrowell.
Yep. I still don't get that, like, what?
How'd you get it that badly wrong?
I know. Like, seriously?
But this did well and that's good.
This
It makes
did
me
well.
happy and...
Yes.
And
this did surprisingly well in the Hex fam and friends voting as well.
I mean, it's not that surprising, bearing in mind just, like, they won with, like, 2 points off the theoretical maximum in the semis with our voting. And clearly they resonated with a lot of I think they got 12 from the UK public.
Yeah.
Which that does not surprise me. And, Norway did good, and they earned good doings. Yeah!
Yee!
Sweden, as expected.
Why did they win the jury again?
Yeah. That's one thing that, like, it's a personal gripe, and I admit this is a completely me thing. The type of song that annoys me most at Eurovision is the type of song where everyone fawns over it, and it's not that I disagree, it's that I don't understand what they've latched onto. And Sweden is that for me, and for basically everyone in our household. Like, you'll see in our voting at the end of the video.
Yeah, I feel that. Like, what I really don't like about Sweden's attitude towards Eurovision lately is how they feel so proud of their Melody Festival and staging that even though they say in articles, oh, it's going to be different from the Melody Festival and staging when we put it to Eurovision, it wasn't.
And there's this sense of arrogance, really, on the part of, like, when Christer Björkman invented the term Sweden hate in the same way that Donald Trump invented the term fake news and kept using it until it was insisted its way into just being a thing that people look for when confirmation bias their way into accusing people of using it. Like, I've lost track of my own point here. Like it feels like not all of Sweden by any means, but, like, there are certain people in the delegation who honestly believe that a good result is just owed to them because they're Sweden. And with the juries, they get that. With the public, as the last 2 years have shown, that doesn't fly anymore. People want sincere stuff, not machine-made pop. And the thing is, John Lundvik is a really nice guy. But his face, when he, like, as someone put on Twitter, in 2019, Sweden almost won Eurovision, but in the end, they didn't. Nothing personal against John Lundvik. It was just really cathartic. Like, being from the UK, being from a little guy country who's constantly trodden on, as we'll get to, it's just really cathartic to see one of the big dogs, like, have the rug pulled out from under them at literally the last second.
Like, seriously, like, I mean, I know that Sweden is still top 10, but one of these days, Sweden is just gonna flop so hardcore that they'll end up, like, right hands out of the scoreboard in, like, a few years' time.
We don't wish it on them.
We don't
it would just
wish
be fun
it.
to see.
It's just, like, sort of like the way things are going if they continue their trend of whatever it is they're doing. Azerbaijan! Zabby jabby!
Zabby jabby! Well, as is common knowledge, Azerbaijan is my personal winner this year, and this is, I think, the best that my personal winner has ever done in a Eurovision final. Unless you count Armenia 2014, but that was only my winner, not counting my own country. So,
yeah.
Bojana Stamanov came in like the top 10 in 2015, so it's something, but Azerbaijan, I finally understood the staging. It's like it's scanning his heart, and she's still in his heart, but he's like, no, but the truth is she is, and like, I get it.
He understood and he got it.
I was bopping along throughout the entire song.
Indeed you were.
I was just full on, like, yes! Hairography for days.
Eleni, watch out. Anyway, yes, Azerbaijan, totally deserved.
Yeah.
Like, deserved to come slightly higher. Maybe I would have put them above Sweden, but
And this is sort of the year of character arcs, because, like, Azerbaijan has, like, learned that, you know, last year, manufactured pop don't do it. Like, yeah, this is sort of, like, it's not cynical following a formula pop, it's writing a song that adheres to pop, like, norms, as opposed to, this is what the focus groups say we should do, kind of robot pop. Like, this is, we want to write a pop song, this is what we got. And because of the people they asked to write it and stuff, it does seem like they have finally moved on. They've realised, okay, we had sort of a outsourced pop kind of thing last year and it went horribly. The year before, we had homegrown talent that came 14th. The year before that, and so on and so on. Like, basically I did a Patreon video about this. And Azerbaijan have applied their learning to create this song, and it got them a top 10 result for the first time in quite a long time.
Indeedy doodle. This is the beginning of a new era for Azerbaijan.
And it's also the beginning of a new era for North Macedonia.
Yee!
And again, character arcs, fully deserved. Apparently did she win the semi-final or come second in the semi-final?
Second, I believe, after the Netherlands?
Yeah, that tracks. So, yeah, North Macedonia, like, when the first set of points came in, we were like, Macedonia's at the top of the scoreboard, someone take a picture, it's not going to last. And then it lasted. And we're so happy for them.
Until, like, the last couple of countries voted, and then they gave a lot of their points to Sweden, and then we were just like, ow. But they're still doing really well! Yay!
So, yeah, I'm so happy for them. This, like, at the time, for some reason, I thought their best result was 6th, but no, their best result up until now was 12th, and now they're 8th, and they got their best result ever, and it's just,
We are proud of our little potato country.
They do kind of look like a potato. If you look at it on a map. Now there's a reference.
Indeed.
And, like, that's one thing that I really liked about this year's final, because I remember, like, watching through all the songs and thinking, wow, this is actually one of the strongest finals I've ever seen. Like, it's the most entertaining to watch. There's a lot of good songs. Like, there aren't any that I'd skip if I watched it again. And also, part of the reason that I think is, well, we had one weird semi-final and one normal one, so we end up with a good blend of weird and normal in the final, and a lot of little guy countries qualified, including North Macedonia.
Indeed.
And it was so nice, so gratifying to see them do so well in the juries.
Yes.
They got so many 12s.
A lot of 12s. I can't remember the number exactly, but there was a lot. Anyway, Australia.
I think top 10 is deserved for that performance, but this is kind of the reality check that I think some of the hardcore fans needed. As I said, impressive, just not head and shoulders above some of the others.
Yeah.
But still good. You know.
Yeah.
And Kate can be proud of that. You know, sort of got things back on track after the slight wobble last year.
Indeed.
No pun intended.
Indeed, doodle. Anyways, Iceland.
Oh,
this is a fun one.
You will have seen how we all kind of collectively cringed in the reaction video. Yeah. Apparently they didn't tell the broadcaster they were planning on pulling that little stunt either, which is kind of sad because it's probably the broadcaster that's going to have to pay a penalty for it or something. But other than that, good performance.
Yeah.
It would have been nice to see Iceland do better, but, you know, this is where, like, the scores begin to trail excessively, because, like, we've had, you know, Macedonia 295, Australia 285, Iceland 234, and the next score down is 157. So it would have been nice to see this do better. It would have been nice to keep up that tradition of, oh, the year ends at a 9, best have Iceland come second, but, you know, it still finished 10th, so...
It's not terrible.
again, it's a kick up the arse that Iceland's been waiting for.
Yes, hopefully they continue that kick up the arse. Anyway, moving on.
I'm just hoping that it doesn't do to them what Aminata did to Latvia. Like, I hope they don't go through a phase of thinking, we have to send wacky stuff, otherwise they won't pay us any mind. And, yeah, Iceland, good for you. Having your worst result followed by a good one. And then, Czechie Roo! They tanked the televote and I'm sad.
I know.
They deserved better. But still, 11th, so once again, haters suck a lemon. Like, we said in the pre-show review, didn't we, that they probably weren't going to outdo Mikolas Yosef, but they still left-hand side the scoreboard, which the Czech Republic of 10 years ago could only dream of. So, living your best life over there in Central Europe.
Indeedy doodle.
And it justifies their plans for a televised national final next year. I am absolutely here for it. Czech Republic, slay me daddy.
Denmark.
Left-hand side of the scoreboard with a really cute song and a cute face. And the cult of the chair people.
The cult of the chair people. It was sweet, it was cute, it was adorables, and
It's so nice to see that it did so well. Like, it was literally on the border in the semi-finals, though. It was 10th, and Lithuania was 11th by 1 point, which that's a whoa moment in itself. But Europe opened their hearts to Denmark again, and just, it's so sweet.
It is so sweet. It's so precious. You know what else is also precious? Slovenia.
Yeah. Slovenia finished on the left-hand side of the scoreboard, so once again, kind of a middle finger to the haters. And it's... Okay, so I'm just looking at the scores. Like, they were technically tied with 14th, but the official scoreboard has them at 13th, so I'm assuming that's how the ties got broken.
I'm assuming so.
Don't mind me, I'm just losing feeling in my leg.
Okay.
I'll just stand here for a while. I'll be a floating talking head. But yes, so Slovenia came 13th. Any thoughts on that? It was a good performance. It was
a good performance. It was sweet. It was endearing. Grew on me quite a fair bit during its performance because I couldn't really connect to it at first, but now, oh my days, it's so precious, it's so cute.
And, like, this is substantially better than I think Zala and Jasper were thinking they were going to do, because they were just like, oh, we entered the EMA just to share our music. We didn't realise people would actually like it. And then they ended up liking it so much that they finished on the left-hand side of the Eurovision scoreboard. So happy for Slovenia, good for them. And again, kind of second year of good results that Slovenia's been waiting for. And how did they do last year?
I think they were like 20, I know they were in the 20s or something like that.
So yeah, Slovenia's steadily building back up after a couple of years of drought. And then France. Didn't quite do as well as you think you were going to, did you?
Exactamundo. It did grow on me so much over the performance because, I don't know, the instrumentation just clicked with me and I just heard, people in the Hex household just be like, oh my gosh, why?
I think, your point of view is valid, and I think it was a good performance. I just still have those questions about, are you sure you really believe in those backing dancers, or are you just using them for your own personal gain?
Well, that's my concern as well, but the instrumentation, oh my days, I mean, it would have been nice to have had, a proper, revamp and full-on music video with that instrumentation.
And there are a couple of songs like that this year as well.
But yes. France, they did a 14th.
Yum yum.
After coming 13th last year, and 12th the year before that.
Oh, they are steadily slipping then. This is what happens when you keep relying on Madame Monsieur. You do slightly worse each time, he says, as if Madame Monsieur had any involvement in 2017.
But yes, Cyprus.
So, Saipipu, as we like to call them, did better than we were expecting, but performed better than we were expecting after that honestly not great semi-final performance, and the broken light box was fixed this time. So, I'm glad they didn't do badly, but at the same time, 15th, I think, is kind of a... It sends a message back to CYBC saying, yeah, you came second again, but just second place of the right-hand side of the scoreboard. Don't copy yourself a third time, or you might not qualify at all.
Indeedy doodle.
There's a lesson here.
We all learned something today.
For example, you learned how to break a car window in case of an emergency situation. That's got nothing to do with Eurovision.
Malta!
Elliot was so crushed when they did mediocrely, and Malta deserved better.
Why did they cut to her face in the green room when she only received that few points? It just made me feel sad.
But yeah, Malta should have done better than they did. And we were talking a big game oh yeah, you can still finish in top 10 if you open the show, and you can, that doesn't mean you will. It was a good performance, and it was better than the semi-finals, and she has a bright career ahead of her, and also Destiny was there, so at the end of the day, everyone goes home a small fragment of a winner. just not as big of a slice of the pie as that. Is it a fragment? Is it a pie? Is there glass in my food?
Serbia.
Deserve better, underrated, but then again, I guess kind of swallowed up by the songs it was either side of. But
Yeah.
again, brilliant performance. Nevada's a great artist, and again, she has a good future ahead.
Indeed.
That was quick.
Yep.
Albania, kind of similar story. Better performance than the semi-finals. Again, that was the running theme of the final.
Better performance than the semis, except there were a few exceptions to that.
Yeah,
rule.
I see what you're saying.
Like Estonia, for example.
Oh, yes. Well, one last thought on Albania. Again, I'm hoping that this and last year kind of come together to prove to Albania, hey, you're on the right track, just don't fall back into old habits.
Yeah.
But yeah, Estonia, kind of, he was very, very, very flat.
He was a person that was there. I kind of almost forgot he was there.
And it's kind of the result I would have expected for this song, so...
Yeah.
It's respectable. The UK would kill to do that well, so, watch what you say, Estonia. But then, more importantly, 20th place, the best result ever for this country so far. Suedmu didn't come last. So happy for them.
Yay.
In fact, 10th in the televote. 10th
in the
with
televote.
at least 3 12s from the public. I look forward to seeing what San Marino does next. They said they were going to bring back 1 in 360, so hopefully it's a new dawn for La Serenissima Repubblica.
Yes.
I hope so.
Me too.
I want to see San Marino do it. But 21st, though, and all the countries that we're about to talk about, beaten by Serhat. Greece did not see that coming.
Nope.
Like, with a voice like that, with a performance like that, with that level of art, I would have thought the juries would be all over it, at least to something of an extent. I guess performing right after the Netherlands kind of dealt it a blow.
I still don't get the egg thing. Like, throwing that balloon beach ball thing.
And you got people with swords, why aren't you stabbing the egg and popping it to reveal, like, coloured confetti, and the whole thing's like a gender reveal party? But it's blue and white, and it's, congratulations, your baby is Greek.
Yeah, it's a good thing Tess isn't in charge of that particular staging anyway.
Spain did not deserve to come 22nd. Thing is, there are a lot of countries that did badly this year that didn't deserve to do badly, but the way a scoreboard works, someone has to.
We still don't understand that wooden mannequin thingy.
Yeah, it was just kind of there.
It was just there. I don't quite get what the deal with that is. And plus, the guy that was operating it kind of joined in at the ending bit of La Vende Yakayo.
Yeah.
I think that was the guy that was operating it. Maybe. I don't know.
Probably, because there were 6 of them at the end.
Yeah.
And, like, Spain, I guess they should have just kept the staging from the national selection, because, like, I didn't really get it, but this did not deserve to do so badly. This should have been top 10.
Or at least top 15.
At least top 15.
This just makes me sad that this, a very fun, happy time party song that managed to win the Hex family voting, came 22nd.
Oh yeah, it won the family vote as well.
And something like Bala El Chiki Chiki from 2008 came in like the top 15.
It did what?
Yeah.
I watched that show and I don't remember that. I remember the little guitar at the beginning of. Anyway, Israel, the home nation, well, host nation rather, they're not a home nation, but, as I said, host songs either come 5th or flop. And all 12 of their jury points came from Belarus being disqualified from their, well, not disqualified, but, like, their jury votes were discounted, and as a result, all of their votes were for the wrong side of the scoreboard. Well, not the wrong side, but, like, the side that didn't get anything from anyone. Sad.
It is very sad.
Also, this is another one where the instrumentation they used at Eurovision, I want to see that released as a single, unless they have already. I don't have Spotify, so...
I shall inquire.
Yeah. And it was kind of... When you get to the second refrain and it cuts to the backing singers, like, well, where's he gone? They've lost him in the supermarket of life.
And then he's on the bridge.
He's on the bridge. Good song, good performance, did not deserve to do 23rd.
Speaking of songs that didn't deserve to do as badly as they did Germany.
Nothing from the public. I'm not surprised because that happens once a year, but come on!
Didn't happen last year.
Did not?
No, the lowest score last year was 9 points.
Oh, okay. That's me told. But Germany... People decided they hated Germany from the offset and they just couldn't shake that. Like, this happens a lot. It happened with Eliza, happened with Anne-Sophie, happened with Jamie Lee, happened with Lavina. Come on, people.
Like, seriously, what does Germany have to do? And please, do not say send Cascada.
Because that didn't work in the same way that Darude came last for Finland, so as I said, you do not know what works at Eurovision. Doesn't matter if you're a fan or a hater or anything in between, you do not know.
And this is why I keep my personal opinion about what singers should represent who at Eurovision to myself.
Yes.
Anyway, Belarus.
Yes, you're gonna like it? Apparently not.
Well, we liked it enough to put it into the final in the first place.
Yes. And not even in 10th, it was like 9th or 8th, I think.
I believe. No, it wasn't 8th. That
was San Marino.
Yeah.
It wasn't 10th, is the point. And yeah, 31 points, so just under double what last place got. And remember the last time Belarus came second last and the UK came last?
2010.
That sounds good to nobody! Ah! Belarus deserved better. The UK deserved better. Like, the UK did not deserve last. Bearing in mind, like, this is something that the UK public will not understand. They will refuse to accept this because for some reason the UK is just so afraid of owning up to when they've made a mistake. It's anyone's fault but their own. But the UK came, I think, third last with the juries and second last with the televote.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, no, like, last overall, but not last with anyone in particular. So...
Yeah. And, like, this is our fourth last place in the 21st century.
Well, just ever, actually. Our fourth last place in 60 years odd of participating.
Yeah. But my point is, it's not because of Brexit.
It's because it was a tepid song in the middle of the running order by, admittedly, a good singer, but BBC, this is what happens when you try to push an agenda. We don't care about All Together now. You don't have to force an artist into Eurovision just to prove that one of your poxy, pathetic proprietary formats is worth the investment. Eurovision is its own thing and should be treated with respect, not as some means of pushing your own stuff. And Michael Weiss is a good singer, it's just that the song was... The UK in general is bad, and I hope that this teaches the UK a very valuable lesson, but let's face it, it won't because the average UK is a xenophobic moron.
The average UK, like the entire country.
Yes.
Basically. But, like, the staging, it, like, kind of worked, but kind of didn't at the same time, and he didn't really look at the camera much, so he kind of lost that connection with the audience, so maybe that's what cost him public points. But I don't understand why he did so badly with the juries, because
it was a jury bait song.
Yeah.
Not to mention, the juries put Sweden first, and this is another song by the same person with an equally charismatic singer, with very similar staging, very similar everything. But tell me again how it's not just to do with the psychology of the flag. It doesn't help my job, bearing in mind the UK is just going to retreat even further into their shell after this. But I would hope it's a wake-up call. And the thing is, the UK came last because no one was really jazzed by it. Like, no one actively hated it, but it didn't engage anyone at all. Whereas Belarus and Germany, for instance, the public were like, and the jurors were like, but, like, there were people who liked it enough to pull it up on one side of the vote or the other. In Germany's case, the jury, and in Belarus's case, the public, I think.
Yeah.
Whereas with the UK, it's like, jack of all trades, master of none, therefore you get nothing.
Yeah, pretty much.
So yeah, UK, you have a strong music industry. Send something from your music industry! Because this is not indicative of the UK charts whatsoever. But I'm just gonna get furtherly steamed if I keep on about this. So is that the end of our thoughts?
That is the end of our thoughts.
Yes, we'll be seeing you in Amsterdam or Rotterdam or The Hague, Gadam, or somewhere else in the Netherlands next year. And yeah, well, I've been able to continue to be Tessellating Hexagons, and
I've been Europe's Galloway.
And I'm just gonna go and sleep forever because, God, okay, quick request for next year's Eurovision season. Can we please not have 27 songs released on the same day? Release something in November, for my sake.